Uganda is among the 3 countries affected by the travel restrictions imposed by the United States after declaring the presence of Ebola. The other countries are South Sudan and Democratic Republic of Congo. Recently, the Ministry of Health declared Uganda Ebola free, leading to the lifting of all Ebola-related standard operating procedures. However, following the government's endorsement of Dr. Olara Otunnu for the position of United Nations Secretary General, the candidate's international campaign has been affected by the U.S. travel ban.
So that is where we are. The rest of the candidates are in New York or their various capitals. They have been canvassing and campaigning for a long time. We hope very soon, when the waivers come through, we'll begin with New York. That is where the action is, the seat of the United Nations.
The government of Uganda has officially written to the US requesting a waiver to allow the endorsed candidate to meet relevant stakeholders and member states as part of his campaign. The US is yet to respond to the request.
To cool our heels here, discussing with Washington and petitioning for a waiver to make it possible for us to leave Kampala and go to the US. I think we are very close to getting a positive answer, and I want to thank the government of the United States.
The government has appointed former Prime Minister Dr. Rugunda to lead the delegation, tasked with lobbying for international support for Uganda's endorsed candidate, Dr. Olara Otunnu.
Rugunda, who is well known to you, and is going to take the lead in the mobilization for support for our candidate.
The United Nations was often paralyzed by the election and the controversies about getting new Secretary Generals. Olara Otunnu, as President, developed innovatively the position of having a straw ballot in a manner that the balloting would start early until there was consensus. He's the expert on it, and I'm glad we have the innovator.
Uganda's permanent representative to the United Nations, Uganda has also joined the campaign to rally support for Uganda's bid to secure the position of United Nations Secretary General.
That we are ready to receive you. My team is ready to receive you and facilitate you to do your campaign for UN Secretary General. Let me say that we really have an experience of winning.
Dr. Olara Otunnu presented his manifesto highlighting his extensive international experience, which he believes positions him competitively against other candidates in the race.
Discouraged straw balloting is what Olara Otunnu designed in December 1981. It worked. It produced Perez de Cuellar, Secretary General Perez de Cuellar, and since that time, the Security Council has used it for the election of every Secretary General, including this season's election. So that is the so-called Otunnu formula. It bears the name of one of you.
Dr. Otunnu promises to focus on strengthening the influence of the United Nations and reviewing its approaches to resource mobilization.
I put out a sketch which I have called Outline of Agenda for the United Nations. That is, even though the UN is now occupied with a number of issues across the board, the most important single mandate for the United Nations remains the issue of peace and security.
Abdunasele Lobwama for UBC.